Okay, I think I'm about ready. Okay, thank you very much for joining us. Hold on, let me get some things straight up here. All right. So anyway, um, it's interesting how time goes by. Mercury is retrograde, so that has to be kept in mind. Tomorrow is the Lion's Gate, a portal gate, or something like that. I need to get that straight. But yeah, anyway, it's supposed to be a very special occasion astrologically every year. Um, I do thank you very much for joining us. And before I get to the topic at hand, I do want to let you know our sponsors, which is Rizat Islam uh, with his intellectualpower.net. Go there. When you order, you will be entitled to a 10% discount. That's very important. Then next is Nicholas Brooklyn. In fact, she's going to be my guest next Wednesday on the 14th. If memory serves me correct, yep, she's going to be my guest on Wednesday the 14th. So she's going to be talking about the history of Nicholas books over the last 50 years, images and things like that to bring you up to speed, and you'll see why she has a great store. Also, King Simon, who just won an award there in Florida, by the way, for having the best TV series on Billy Carson's TV stream. Congratulations to him. But he's going to be a guest later on this month or early October, talking about the ancestral tribute to Baba De Gregory and also his children's book that he had just authored. And then we have Manifest on Purpose. It comes on every Monday, every Wednesday in the mornings. And there's always something about dealing with the mindset, which I always enjoy. But anyway, before we get into it, let me tell you about the forecast today. It is Wednesday. It is August the 7th of 2024. The sun is in Leo. The moon is in the earth sign of Virgo. Mercury is retrograde. It is a 7 universal month, 8 universal week, or 5 universal days. So those are the signs of Gemini and Virgos are the beneficiaries of today's energy, as well as anybody born on the 5th, the 14th, or the 23rd of any month. Well, I promised that, a lot of people have asked about the app, so I'm going to explain that a little bit. There's so many features to it. I'm just going to do part one today, because what I want to do is be able to take your readings, answer questions that you have, and work on it like that. So anyway, for those of you who do have my A Star 8 app, you can pull it out or upload it, whatever. And for those of you who don't have it, go to your respective Android or Apple platform and download it there. It's A Star 8, ASTAR, the number 8. That's ASTAR, the number 8. Now, when you do, the first thing that will happen is they're going to ask you for your name, then an email address. They'll send you a 6-digit code. And once you punch that in, then you have access to the mobile app itself. In the meantime, they will describe your name, whatever the case is. When you open up the app itself, this first thing you'll see. You will see, let me do it this way. You'll see a definite, the front page of the app. You'll see that at the top, to the left is your birth number. So if a person's born on the 7th, like I am, that would be the first thing. The planet to the right is what governs that number that is your birthday. So if you're a 5, it'll be a 5 in that position. The planet Mercury will be over there. If, let's say, you're a number 9, then the 9 will be in that left position where it says your birth number, and then the planet Mars will be to the right of it. Then underneath it, you see name compatibility. Now, if you notice above that, I just have my first name. I could have put LLoyd Strayhorn or any other name. Those of you who have not subscribed in that way for a monthly subscription, you won't see the crown for those. So when you don't see the crown, that means you're just getting the freemium version, which means some features are free. or available. And for those who have the crown, that means you're getting a premium service from it. Now, there's a couple of things too to take note of, and that is that once you do this, you will begin to see, if you look underneath the name, you'll see there is a description, a daily star guide. All right. This daily star guide. Now, today for me is a double green star day. To the right of it, you see the calendar. Today's calendars, I have 2 green star days. So it's a pretty good day. Then what happens is when you click on these icons, this is what you will see. Okay. So for example, let me give you an example. So let's say when you're clicking on the stars, where it says that, it will open up and give your personal day. So today is a double green star day. It happened to be a 5 personal day for me. So today is a 2-star day, which means more energetic, getting things done with ease and less resistance. And then next to that, afterwards, let me see something here. Go back. So let me go. Here we go. So to the underneath, you'll see where it says the personal week, personal month, personal year. So what's going on for this week? Well, all I got to do is you got to just click on the icon, and this is what it will say for my week anyway. Everybody's got their own energy. So for the personal week, it says this is money or business week, indicators are in a big way, time to think big, et cetera, et cetera. And they'll tell you those signs that are likely to be helpful to me this particular week, which would be Capricorns, Aquarians, Librans, and anybody born on the 8th, 17th, or 26th of the month. And then next, when you go to it, you'll see your personal month. And so that tells you, well, what's going on for the month of August for me overall. And it's on yours too. Everybody has a different energy. But if you look, yours will be different. But the point is, for me, when I click on it, it will say my personal month is a month for introspection, self-analysis, a tendency to spend more time alone, whatever the case is. And this will tell you what it is. Then finally, just in that section, you'll see your personal year. If you click on that, this is what you get. You get a synopsis of what the year entitled from January to December will be about, things of that nature. Now, if you look to the right, you'll see the calendar. Today is August the 7th. So what happens is when you click on the calendar, this is what you will get. You will get a snapshot of the entire month that's listed in green stars, which is go, and red stars, which is slow or no. Now, when it comes to the red stars, it doesn't mean you hide under a rock. It just simply means if you got something important, just make sure you double check everything. And especially since Mercury is now retrograde for much of this month up until the 28th. Okay. You'll also see when you open up the full calendar that it'll tell you it's a 2 green star day, and you click for more details to find out about the week, the month, and the year. And so for those of you who have not subscribed to the premium issue, you'll get a calendar, but it won't be listed as green or red. It will just only when it comes to each day. So you just get a daily forecast. But if you want to plan things ahead, this is what you'll get. But then when you want to plan your month, you'll see there'll be no indications of red or green star days. All right, it'll be just each month. The beauty about this part is you can also fast forward. You say, okay, well, what's up for September? I want to plan October, November, and December. Well, all you got to do to the upper right is move it forward, and you see, so you can plan things accordingly. All right. So I see I have a triple green star day coming up on Wednesday. I have a double star. I have a double star this weekend. I have a double star or triple star on Sunday. So this is how your calendar will work for those that you have a paid subscription. So with that, there's other things that I have too, which is getting back to the app itself. So for example, here you'll see that each day underneath that, you'll get your daily forecast. This is what I do. I explain what's going on in the cosmos for that day, what signs or dates of birth that are likely to do very well or be outstanding. Okay. Um, then next, if you go down, you'll see that I have listed in green all of my good numbers and in red my challenging numbers. And then you'll see there's a feature. Now you see where I have to do it in two parts, actually maybe three parts. But the name description, my destiny number, my money matters, and my health matters. My name description comes from the total of the numbers, what the total of the number of my name number added up to. The destiny number is what the month, the day, and the year adds up to. And then underneath this, you'll see the magic box. Now, the magic box is designed to tell about the number of letters that repeat themselves. So if you look at mine, for example, you'll see that I just have 5 numbers because I only use my first name, Lloyd. So I have 1 1, I have 2 3s. This is at the top. I have 1 4. I have 1 7 for a total of 5. So you can either put in your full name, which is first, middle, and last name, or your first name, or your first and middle, last name. It's all up to you. It gives you options. Now, one of the features that's going to be in the months ahead, actually, it's not going to be months, but weeks ahead, is right now the name is transposed in the Chaldean system. That's the 1 to 8 method. But you will have it also the option of doing it in the Pythagorean system. So we're going to have a little widget or whatever they call it, where you can switch over to Chaldean or switch over to Pythagorean to make your life easier. All right. So that is that there. And the more a number repeats itself, the more stronger that trait is. If there's a number missing, then there is other things that you have to look for. Now, if you look at the bottom to the next to the house is a figure like holding a book. This is to give a screenshot of another person. This is to get a personal reading. So this is the reading. Oh, let me see. I think I got that out of order. No, I did it. I did it right. This is my son, and you'll see from him that has his name. His now, when you look at this, Saturn is the planet that rules his sign, Capricorn. In the center is the symbol of Capricorn. To the right of it is the Earth's element that it rules, which is Earth practicality. Underneath the Saturn, you see the number 8. In other words, he's born on the 8th day of the month. All right. Then in the center is a 3 destiny number, which means when you add his month, his day, and year of birth, it's a 3. This is for anybody you want to know about. And then his name also numerically adds up to a 3. So then underneath that, you will see his favorable numbers, his challenging numbers, and also money matters and things of that nature. There is a lot to this. So what I wanted to do is make sure that, let me see. Also, I think I have one more. Yes. So on the next go round, by the way, this is what his name looks like. His name is spread out on LLoyd Strayhorn. You see he has 5 1s repeated in his name. That's at the top left. And the top center of the 2, it means he has 3 2s repeated in his name. He has 1 3. Every one of you who have this app, when you look at these boxes, it just tells you how many times the numbers 1 from 9, in this case 8, because it's the Chaldean system, is repeated in the name. So once you do that, then there's another section that's in the center, which I'll discuss the next time, but I want to turn this over to you. And on the next go round, we will talk about these features: your property, where you live, the address where you live, your car, your vehicle, because some cars are better than others. We'll talk about your relationships, good, bad, or indifferent. We'll talk about the best business or the kind of business you want to set up, and especially for those that want to travel. So these will be some of the things that we will talk about. So I just wanted to make sure that I answer some of the questions. If you got any questions, let me know, and I'll make sure either I review them or fill them in. But in the meantime, I do want to take time to also thank everybody, and also thank my guests. Monday's guest is going to be Kamar Johnson Bay. He is the gentleman that had his two young children on, uh, his daughter especially, who wrote the two books and makes all the pastries and whatnot. Her brother, who's a funny guy. You know, we had to look at his turtle or a frog. No, I think it was a turtle. Whatever, the turtle was swift too. So anyway, but we're going to have his dad on because of what his dad has done, and we're going to talk about that too. So he will be my guest this Monday, coming on the 12th, and then Monique from Nicholas, Brooklyn, will be my guest on the 14th. All righty, so I can tell his Mercury retrograde. Anyway, um, this person is all the way from South Africa. Thank you very much. Wow, such a distance. And melanated 8 without fail. This is like, I thank you. I thank you very, very much, really. And for my moderator, please get the thumbs up, the like supports, please. That's very, very important. And for those of you who have a question, let me know. For those of you who wish a reading, let me know. And it would be my pleasure, my pleasure, my pleasure. Okay. Anyway, let me tell you about this month. This month governs the law of attraction. And it also indicates that whatever you're thinking about, that's what you will draw to you. So if you're thinking in a way that's very limiting, very constrictive, you won't go any further than the limitations that set around your mind or the way you think. But if you have unlimited ways of thinking, unlimited expectations, and being the law of attraction this month, you can get exactly what you want. All right. This person, Anthony McGinnis, is here for a reading. McInnes, I should say. He is a Leo, got a birthday coming up. That would be about next Friday. No, next Saturday. It'll be next Saturday, the 17th. That would be actually, it would be a triple star day for you if you had the app. If you downloaded the Star 8 app, you'll see it'll be a 3 green star day for you. So that means whatever you want, you get. But anyway, it tells me you are an old soul, always been mature for your age. You would do well running a business. And it's interesting, although the name Anthony adds to 28, if they call you Tony, that adds to 17. So I would rather you be called Tony McInnes, because that will then be in line step with your 17th birthday. In other words, the name Tony under the Chaldean system as a 17. You're born on the 17th and in the 8th month. I would say I'm willing to bet you, all you got to do is confirm whether they do. I'm willing to bet you people call you Tony. It also tells me you probably had a fling or relationship with an older woman, which of course is none of my business. But what I'm saying is you've always had a mature kind of notion, a mature kind of attitude. As Anthony, you got to be careful of people pushing documents under your face and have you just sign there. You got to be careful of who you put your trust in. And you also got to be careful of who you seek advice or counsel when you're doing things. Your key numbers are the 8, the 8, 1, and 4. You'll find your best days are always on a Saturday and a Sunday. And because 2024 is the year of the 8, and you're born on the 17th, which is an 8, I would say this is going to be a very, very good year for you, my friend. All righty. So anyway, let me go back a second. I hope that helps you, and happy birthday coming up in next weekend, buddy. All right. So let's see who else we got here. Thanks, Cheryl Lee. These are like the regulars. Y'all are spoiling me, but I really appreciate that. Oracle too. This is all great. Yeah, I always keep forgetting when I do the forecast. Please like, share, and subscribe. It's right there. By the way, there is somebody this faked my page, and I think it's on TikTok or one of them. I believe it's on that platform. And what happens is they will say numbers in you, but then there'll be an underscore. Mine is just numbers in you, no numbers behind it, no other markings behind it, no underscores, no nothing. And one of my clients told me, who's going to be a guest on near the end of this month or early September, in fact, says, Lloyd, is this you or is it a fake? And when he sent me the link, sure enough, it was a fake. So I guess people don't have anything else better to do. And thanks, Donna Marie. Yes, it's Lionsgate. I knew it was somebody's gate. The next time I'll be prepared to explain what it is. Okay, here's Taylor B. See, that's the beauty of all my listeners. So 888 Lionsgate portal, Sirius rises in Leo. And I wonder if this is the Sirius star in the heavens that the people, the Dogon people described. It described the Sirius B, then the Dogon people even knew there was the Sirius B. And what happens is when people were going through Africa and the people from telling the people, like let's say the missionaries, other people in Dogon about this, how did they know this? They didn't have no calendars, they didn't have no telescopes, but they knew things. And in fact, Benjamin Banneker designed in part or finished the designing of the nation's capital in Washington, D.C., born on November 19th, was thought himself to be related to the Dogon people, which would make sense because he built the first movable clock and everything else. But thank Taylor B for getting that straight. Yes, in Leo, there is no question about that. All right. This is Mo Bless. And again, all of these things I really like. So again, for the birthdays you have, me say, okay. Taylor B says, correct is right. 888 tomorrow Lionsgate portal, make 8 wishes at 8 a.m. That makes sense to me. That makes sense. It'll be an 8-month, an 8-day, an 8-year. That's where Triple H come from. And in fact, if you were to go to the New Testament, the last testament in the Bible, it will be called they'll talk about the beast. I think it's the chapter of Revelation. For here is the mark of man, it's the mark of the beast is 666. Well, further in the chapter of Revelation, the last chapter in the Bible, they refer to Christ and his number symbolically is 888. So for those of Christian types of backgrounds and whatnot, it should be a most interesting day to celebrate that and maybe read part of that chapter. For those for the Lionsgate, it is Triple H across the board. It will not be this way again, not unless it's the only time this will occur again will be in the year of 2033. That's exactly right. On August the 8th of 2023, because that year adds up to an 8, it will be 888 again. So if you don't get it tomorrow, it's not going to happen for another 9 years, okay? So anyway, then at 8 a.m. So make your wishes, make 8 wishes, they say, okay? And make sure, and don't forget, because we happen to be in the year, the month that governs the law of attractions, make sure it was to your advantage if you can meditate at least a minimum of 8 minutes. I'll throw that in, okay? And just see in your mind's eye those things that you wish for yourself, your family, your welfare, your health, relationships. Only you know what you need to fulfill. And just make those wishes, okay? And then expect them to come true, okay? This is very important because if you don't, we normally find what we look for. So look for success in everybody, all right? This is Dr. Yana Woodhouse. I'm going to have her on my show again soon, especially in light of what's happening with the economy. For those, I think it was $6.4 trillion stock market losses over the last couple of days. Okay, got a lot of people shook. She's also at one point worked on Wall Street. She was the first woman of color to actually work on Wall Street, from what I understand. But I'm going to have her back, and good to hear from her too. All righty. So let's say, okay, Angela Nelson, you are 7. Yes, I am. I'm a 7 all day long. And let me tell you this, is sometimes people are interesting. Oh, I wish I had this number. I wish I had that number. Whatever number you got, obviously, that's the number you're supposed to have. The difference is what you do or don't do with the number you have. And so what I'm saying is, as long as you put your best foot forward, as long as your spirit and your mindset and your intentions are honorable and forthcoming and direct, every number from 1 to 9 should do very well in their expectations of what they want to do. All righty. This is Jackie Fillmore from Temple Hills in Maryland. I don't know whether that's in Prince George County or Montgomery County, but anyway, this is Sister Maya and K Love. She calls it Miracle Wednesdays. Yes. And by the way, we are family. This is the Live with Lloyd family. I know people are not about family anymore, but in these tight times, it is best. If you notice, when you got a family, you can make it through the tough times. But if you think you all by your lonely self, it's going to be rough. So my whole thing is this: the Live with Lloyd family. I've mentioned that before. And so that is it. Okay, now this is a person that says, so my name is on the app is 55% accurate when I only have my alias name. However, when I added my alias to my birth number, it's almost 100% accurate for me. Very good. Very good. That's the whole point. And this is what I'm saying about the app in and of itself, whereby you can actually alter the spelling of the name. And so, as I said, I decided to put Lloyd. When I put Lloyd, I got 84%. So I says, okay, I'll go with that. I like to be called Lloyd anyway. Some people say Mr. Strayhorn. I understand. But for me, I like to just say Lloyd. That's it. So I think this is very good. I'm happy for you. Okay, let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's go this way. I'm going to go a little backwards now. And okay. Oh, they said that's PG County. All right. Temple Hills. They said it's PG County. All right. My moderator says they need 12 people to the likes to listen. I know I got more than enough people up in here. I see it on the screen. Can I get an amen and somebody use their finger and push the like button, please? The last time I thought it don't cost no money. There's no money attached. It ain't gonna cost you nothing. So if you can, just tap the thing a little bit, okay? Make my moderator happy, and that would be good. All right, so let me go backwards. This is Ernestine Palmer. She just had a birthday about 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. And she is a Leo herself. But July Leos are different than August Leos. But nonetheless, she is born in the 7th month on a 7-day in the 70s. So she is a fire sign with a water number. And fire represents anybody who has a lot of drive, a lot of ambition, a lot of passion. They're very proactive. They take the initiative. They don't wait around. Yet her lioness energy is modified with the number 7 that brings emotions and sensitivities and feelings into the equation. And so this will kind of modify why she's very strong-willed, but then she'll have her moments. But then again, when you think about it, don't we all have our moments? But her key numbers are 4 of them. Her numbers are the 7, 2, 1, and 4 in that order. Now, what does that mean? So if she came to me and say, okay, Stray, what's my best days? It would be Monday's always first, because each number is assigned to a day, and 7 is assigned to Monday, and the sign of Leo is assigned to Sunday. So although they would say Sunday, Monday, her calendar says Monday and Sunday. Those would be her best days out of the 7. All right. This is Tyrone Sutton. Such an amazing app. Thank you very much. How will business and love look for you? And they are born on the 3rd of July of you hear me? I was going to say 1776, 1976. All right. First of all, you happen to be, sir, in a 9 personal year. You are a water sign with a fire number, just the reverse of the person who is a fire sign with a water number. So yours is different. So that means primarily as a Cancer, you bring to it feelings and hunches and intuitions and a knowing, a kind of a gut instinct about this, that, and the other, but it's modified because you're born on the 3rd day of the month with fire that brings to it that follow through on what you're feeling, follow through on those hunches. And the one thing I admire every single aspect about the numbers from 1 to 9. But one of the aspects I admire about the 3 in particular is their desire when told that they can't do this and they can't do that. Well, it's a fire number anyway. They put fire under them. They're very, very determined to succeed. So if you're dealing with a person with a lot of 3s, don't tell them, man, you're gonna be a failure, because more than likely they will prove you wrong. That is one of their strong traits. Every number from 1 to 9, everybody in this room have their strengths and they have their challenges too. I guess that's how it makes it. You know what I'm saying? The yin and the yang, the balance. All right. Your numbers, though, however, are different than the one that I read July 25th. Your numbers are the 3, 2, and 7, which means Thursday is your best day because each number rules a day, which is Thursday, and the 2 and the 7 rules Monday. So it is Thursday, Monday, and because I know Friday is extremely friendly to the number 3, those will be the 3 days. But so in other words, if you come to me and say, when should I set an appointment? Thursday is going to be the first thing, then Monday, if not, then Friday. But at least out of those 3 days, it's not Monday, Thursday, Friday, so such as Thursday, Monday, then Friday. Those would be the best days. And by the way, you don't look your age too. So I know that but now here's what's interesting about your name. On one hand, you're young, but your name says you're old. I'm looking at a lot of 4s running through your name. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, which tells me, so you're kind of like a paradox. So for example, 4 is kind of like moody. Not all 4s are moody, but they like to be their own best company. They're sometimes not as sociable, but you got a little paradox going with you, because on one hand, you're very private, very low key, but when you're out and about, you know how to mix and mingle, have a good time just like everybody else. So you have a very interesting kind of birthday. And then you have 2 7s in your name. You have 4 4s and 2 7s. I'm doing it under the Chaldean system, okay? And 4s and 7s are numbers of privacy. They love their space. They love their privacy. They like to, as I call it, stay under the radar. All right. So I would say, sir, you are a paradox, not in a bad way, but in the way that you've ever wondered, like, when I do go out, I do have fun. But when I really come home and lock the door, I really have fun. And no, you can't come through unless Amazon knocks on the door or something like that. So anyway, go figure. And then you were even born at 4:03 Central Time, which means that adds to a 7. So there's another quietness about you. Okay. This is Mark from Detroit. I have looked into TJIF divination system. This is I spoke to a brother in Africa. His name was Baba Ipega, and he taught me about in the Ife divination system, using the cowrie shells, the stones, and stuff like that. And in fact, I wrote about it briefly in my book, Numbers in You. I didn't go into too much details, but the fact that you're looking into it, these are all part of the divine kinds of energies that we have that goes beyond just what the dollar bill is. Lorenzo Simmons, my man, how you doing, buddy? This is Catley. Hi, Uncle Lloyd. How you doing too? Let's see. This person says they have been unusually tired all week. Has anyone been feeling the same? Well, I'll say this. Right now, this is a 7 month. So this is a very low-key month for everybody generally. 7 is also a cycle where secrets come to the surface. So if you're trying to hide something, it's definitely going to come to the top. And it doesn't necessarily have to hide something in a bad way or a negative way. It's just things that have come to the surface you never knew about that, like, that's interesting. And then it's been an 8 personal week, because 7, the personal month of August, added to the first 7 days of the week, is 7 plus 1 is 8. So 8 is kind of like solemn. They kind of like low key, but very powerful. So it could be. And I guess with all the news coming up about supposedly the stocks and stuff like that, I would say that might be it. But, we all have peaks and valleys, all of us. I mean, there are days where I can just do everything. And then there are days I just say, you know what, I think I need to lay down. That's what I need to do. Okay. Cake, I call co-colors. Yeah, I'm going to put a lot of additions onto the app. because I didn't have no company behind me. I just had myself and a couple of people that believed in me, and so what I thought would be a 1, 2, 3. That's what happens when you don't know. Was not simply a 1, 2, 3, but it is far much better now than it was when I got it out the gate about a year and a half ago. And it is going to be a game changer in the numerology world. There is no app that does this where it tells you in advance, where you can plan your months in advance and you can say, no, I don't want to do it that day. So let me give you an example. So let's say here you got a meeting and they'll say, okay, look at your calendar. You can look right away. So if I look at my calendar, right, I'm going to say, well, I can do it on the 11th. Why? Because I got a triple star day that day. I know that's going my way. I can say, well, I can do it on the 11th or the 19th or the 25th. Why? All those dates are triple green star dates for me. Well, Lloyd, can you do it on the 17th to the 24th? Not really. You know what I'm saying? If I have to. But the point is, even if you got a date that's beyond your control, that's set, you therefore, if it's a red star day, double red, triple red star day, single red star day, you just go with an open mind. And if things don't quite work the way you wanted to, you're not thrown off your center. But if you can, always choose the more green stars, the better your day will go. All right. I lost an item about 2, 3 months ago, right? Had I checked, I had a triple red star day. I ain't even checked my own app. So I kind of laughed at myself and said, well, Lloyd, what do you want? If you checked your app, you shouldn't be doing that on that day. But these things happen. We're human. So that's how that works. Okay. Let me just get this off the screen a second. Okay. Hold on. Alrighty. Now you see why these people will have producers and whatnot like that. Okay. So thanks very much for that. Very much. Okay. Let's say this one. They were born on September the 9th, 19. This is Roman Septo. They were born September the 9th, 1997 at 9 a.m. Everything was running for nines. Look how many nines is running through his birthday. You know how you got numbers that run through a name? Well, look at all the numbers that run through his birthday. 9, 9, 99, 9 p.m. Okay. And he's a life path or 8 destiny. Or the way I explain it for people who may not understand the terms we use in our metaphysical jargon, that symbolically he's in the 8th grade in the school of life. So it tells me you've always been mature. It tells me you were probably accident prone as a kid too. Nicks, burns, breaks, falls, fender benders, stuff like that. 9, since it governs, is ruled by the element of fire, uh, and it rules alcohol. It would tell you, I tell this to all 9 people, especially the more 9s they got, that they should not become too friendly with alcohol. Not that they must be teetotalers or abstain from drinking. That's only to them. But if they do, go with the understanding so it can't be said we did not have this conversation. All righty. And in fact, September the 9th is the most common day to be born on out of all 365 days in the year. The least common is February the 29th. It comes every 4 years. I think this past year was the 29th. So it was one of those rare years. Now we got to wait till another 4 years. But anyway, he says that his name adds up to a 7 and his surname adds up to an 8. Well, if that's interesting, because if your first name is a 7 and your last name is an 8, that adds to 15, and that denotes money, gifts, and favors from others. And the tarot is called the devil card. Now, for money, gifts, and favors from others, don't look that way, because you look at the image on the tarot card of the devil, which is the 15th symbol. It don't look appetizing at all. But those who are born on the 15th, at some point in your life, or have it in their name in your case, money, some form of gifts, or some of favors will come to you. And since your numbers are the 9, 5, and 6, and your name adds up to a 6, I would say you should be pretty good. You should be pretty good. But I would say you've always been old, spiritually, mentally. And if you started out dating older young ladies, that would not surprise me at all. All right. Now, this is, by the way, Michelin, thank you so much for the donation. Much appreciated. Like a reading, They are a fire sign with an earth number. What does that mean? I'm glad you asked. Fire sign people normally are your initiators in life. They normally are the first to jump out there. They're the ones that make things happen. And perhaps there's no reason that why there's a reason that, that Aries has always been, no matter where you go, they always start out with the sign of Aries. Maybe it represents the spring, the start of life, but they always start with your sign of Aries. Um, this is, then on top of that, you're Aries 8. So you're born in the 4th month on the 8th day. That tells me pretty much you had a life where you've been kind of like misunderstood. And if I had to hang a motto over your door, it would be to know you is to love you. But being a fire sign, which is passionate, and earth number, which is practical, that means you temper the way you do things. In other words, you just, yes, Aries are bold, but you do it with a little common sense. Aries are bold, but you do it with a little practicality. It's that kind of thing. You were born at 3:52 a.m., which means you were probably your moon, your sun was probably sitting in probably somewhere close to the second house. I think it's in the third, kind of moving into the second house, the house of possessions. But anyway, let me see. 4, 5, 6. No, your house, your sun is sitting in your second house, your house of Taurus, your house of possessions. Now that I mentally did that. All right, but anyway, it tells me very determined. This is your year because the year of the 8th, you're born on the 8th, and tomorrow's the 8th day. So with all these things happening, I would say tomorrow would be a double green star. No, would it be? No, it'd be at least a green star day for you, no question. Your key numbers are the 8, 9, and 6. Your best days are always on a Saturday, a Tuesday, and a Friday in that order. All right, that's Saturday, Tuesday, and Friday in that order because each number is assigned a day in the week. This is why I'm able to tell you this. So if she asked me what appointment she should go on to, what date she should set up for an important event or make an important decision, it would always be on a Saturday 1st, a Tuesday 2nd, and a Friday 3rd. And then she has months that would go with it too, which is in this case, which would be January, May, and June. No, April and May, excuse me, followed by October and November. Those 5 months are your key months, Michelin. Okay. And again, thank you so much for the donation. Much, 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 much appreciated. Okay, this is Benefit Boss. Okay, looking at the property of someone whose unfavorable number is a 9 and the address adds up to a 9. Why would you buy the property if this was your situation? I'm thinking no. Well, not unless Benefit Boss, you are number 2, which is the major opposition number to the 9. However, now here's what is interesting. 9 is ruled by the element of fire. If you were to buy this property or whoever it is that's buying this property, the first thing I would do is make sure everything is checked relating to fire-related apparatus, the electrical wiring, the boiler, if it's a house, or and it depends on the age of the house. So I tell clients in 9 residences, which is what I have on my app, that, for example, you buy a surge protector and you put the surge protector in the wall, and then you put all the devices, flat screen TVs, all this stuff that requires a lot of energy and heat and stuff like that, and you put it in the surge protector because there are electrical wall fires and things of that nature. So, but for someone whose unfavorable number is a 9 and it just adds up to a 9, well, I don't know why they would do that. There is one exception with houses, not buildings. Let's say the house is a 9. Let's say we'll make it 108, which is a 9, right? And this person is a 2. We know that 9 don't work. What you can do, there are houses, and I don't know whether people notice, there are certain houses that have a number and a letter behind it. I'd have her go to Home Depots, Lowe's, wherever area she lives in the country, and I get the letter B and make it 108B, which would add to an 11, which is a 2. And that should resolve it. And therefore, you find that the house will be more in harmony with the person. But I think it's an interesting question, but I wish them all the best. I can tell you that. Okay. This is Donald Thomas, my man. It says his middle name is Lloyd. His birthday is 9/11. He says, I'm the bomb, born in Brooklyn, raised in Queens, left Harlem on the A train. I'm thrilled to thrilled your show is live on my 70th birthday. I shaved. That's nice, Donald. You know, it's interesting. The name Donald adds up to 24, and the name Thomas adds up to 24. Okay, under the Chaldean system. So it tells me you haven't been a player, but you just got charm galore. I mean, seriously, charm is always your thing. And in fact, I would go as far to say, sir, that women have been your blessing and your curse at some degree, one way or the other. So if you had to sit me down and talk about some of the relationships you had in your past, I'd be like this, like, what? Okay. But anyway, looking at your cycle, you're in a 1 cycle year this year. So this is a year to be a self-starter. This is a year to take the initiative. This is the year to get out of the shell of just being laid back and take the initiative and being proactive about carving out what you want for yourself. In a 1 cycle year, it's the most important time for you. Why do I say that? Well, because it's the start of a new 9-year cycle. So whatever you want, so whatever you do or don't do is going to stick with you over the next 9 years. So if you got somebody that's been a pain and you still letting them into your life during much of this year, they're going to be there directly and indirectly for the next 9 years. So it's about what you want, not about the folks, not about the kids, not about the mates, not about the parents, anything. It's what DT wants for DT. That's all I'm saying. Okay. And that's it. So anyway, congratulations. At least you touched all the boroughs, born in Brooklyn, raised in Queens, left Harlem. Okay, so you just got 2 more. That's Staten Island, okay, and the Bronx. All right. So anyway, congratulations on your 70th birthday. And that's very interesting because 7 is one of your numbers. Your numbers are the 2, the 7, and the 5. So the fact that you're touching your 70s, sir, believe it or not, you're coming into a decade that's going to really make you shine. So I don't think you've seen anything yet. I'd say you did well in your 20s. You did well in the decade of the 50s, but you're going to even do better in the 70s because with it comes wisdom and understanding that you didn't have before. So I'm happy I'm wishing you all the best. Okay. Somebody says they're tired right now with a headache. Well, let me say this to you. 8 rules headaches, the knees, teeth, and bones, and that's the week we're in. Does that mean you are a Capricorn or an Aquarius, or are you in opposition to this number 8 or Capricorn, which would be therefore Geminis, therefore Leos, therefore Virgos, because these are oppositional numbers to the number 8 or signs to the number 8. But anyway, I wish you all the best. And I guess too, because a lot of people are under pressure. This person, Carmen, they're born on July 29th, 64. Now, the fact that they put the date of birth first means you may not be in this country, or you could be like from the Caribbean or England. I noticed in the West here, in this country, we always put the month first, then the day. Outside of this country, they always put the day first, then the month, then the year. So with that being the case, you are a fire sign with a water number, which means passionate and yet very into your feelings and emotions and hunches. It tells me with the fire energy, you might like hot things, but since the number 2 rules the stomach and digestive tract, you might toss and turn with a little gas or indigestion from time to time too, Carmen. It also indicates that this year is a year where you're in an 8 personal year. So it's like a year to come of age, to really know who you are. And it's not about how old you are as so much as how philosophical you are this particular year. And the fact that you're born at 11 p.m. So that means your son, that means you're sitting in the 1, 2, 3, 4th. Your son is in the 4th house. That is the house of Cancer. So that tells me your son is sitting in a house that's so nurturing, things of that nature. So anyway, but your numbers again, though, are the 2, 7, 1, and 4. Those are your numbers. And it means Mondays and Sundays are always your best days. Okay, thanks for the update on the app and how to use it. Make sure everybody hits the like button. Yes, DS, no question. There's a lot to it. So I didn't want to take up all the time trying to explain it because I'm already working into an hour already. Okay, this is Anna Eileen Melvin, born April the 26th. That makes you a Taurus. You are an earth sign with an earth number. And even you're born in the year of the six, which is an earth number, because 1968 adds up to 24, which is a six. Okay. That's interesting. Eight rules headaches, the knees, the teeth, and the bones. All right. So, what's ahead with your professional career or your professional life? Well, since this is the year of the eight, actually, when I add these things together, you happen to be in a two or master number 11 personal year. So, I'm doing it quickly in my head. So, I'm going to say right now, if you're in a two personal year, for 2024, that means things are kind of moving slowly. Things are kind of iffy. Things are kind of up in the air, which means you got to take some patience. If I was to do the math correctly, and because I'm just doing it in my head and it adds up to the master number 11, that means you're supposed to take this year to a whole nother level of understanding, wisdom, being visionary, seeking out the things you want. Only you know how you've been feeling since we've entered this year. But this year is your year because anybody born on the 8th, the 17th, or the 26th of the month, well, you become the beneficiaries of this year along with those under the signs of Capricorn, Aquarius, and Libra. So, with that being said, I would say that also, since whether it's a 2 and 11, this is a great year to work on your diet, Anna, to begin to make sure you're more conscious. There's a couple of movies and documentaries about some of the ingredients they're putting in our foods. I mean, especially in kids. I was looking at something today about these Lunchables that they sell to kids that has got a high level of cadmium and lead in it. And I've heard before that the people who manufacture these products that they sell to our kids and adults, they don't let their families eat it. And that should tell you something right there. So what I'm saying is just be more mindful what you put in your body temple this year. Change your diet, fast if you can, or do a intermittent fast. That's another thing too. In other words, don't eat 3 meals a day. Just eat once and then let your body work and digest that and then eat the next day. But it would be to your advantage. Okay. So thank you very much, Anna. And the way your numbers are the 8, 9, and 6. Your best days are Saturday, Tuesday, and Fridays. All right. This is Janelle Kennedy. They are born March the 11th of 1988. They're a Pisces Sun, Sagittarius Moon, Capricorn Rising, Life 4. How does business look for them? Well, you are happen to be in a 4 personal year. So it's interesting that your month and date adds up to a 4. Month, day, and year adds up to a 4. That would be correct. And you happen to be in a 4. When you're in a 4, Jamel, you got to hit the brakes for a second. Okay. In other words, yes, you can go fast, but this is the year to kind of like move with a sense of purpose, move with a sense of order, move with a sense of what your intentions are and why you're doing what you do. Okay. Now, because you are in a 4, it means sometimes you may have to think outside the box. Something sudden or unexpected will come up. But basically, it's about having a blueprint, a master plan of how you plan to get from point A to point B, whether it's in career, whether it's in relationship, whether it's in health, or whatever the case may be. And since you're in a 4 personal year, and I'm looking at August, 4 plus the 8th calendar month equals 12. And since your numbers are 2, 7, and 3, I'd say this is going to be a very busy and productive month for you with an element of good luck thrown in for it. So the more positive your attitude is, the better you're likely to do coming out on the other side of this month. Okay. So I thank you very, very much for that. I'm looking at, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 out of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, out of about 14 letters in your name, Jamal. You got about 11 youthful numbers. So it tells me either don't look, act, or feel your age. And if you attract much younger relationships, that would make all the sense in the world to me. All right. So anyway, I wish you all the best. Okay. Let's see. I want to go back. This is McGreen 900. I don't know whether is that a donation? Well, if so, thank you. 900. And I don't know what NGN means, but whatever it is, I don't care. It could be $1 in your culture. The fact that you made a contribution for me is great. Okay, you were born on June the 30th, Mike Tyson's birthday. He's got a fight coming up. I might do a prediction on that. Anyway, 1999. So 3, as a rule, are very ambitious. Yours is ambition to the 10th power, because not only are you born on a 3, you have a 0 behind it. The compound number referred to the number of mental superiority, which means you've always been a big thinker. Looking at the picture, you look very dapper too, Mac Dream, okay? So that tells me right there. So you're not a player, I know that, but you probably got a lot of ambition, always had those kinds of things. And when I look at it, you have a one destiny or one life path, or in the first grade in the school of life, because mentally, when I look, June the 30th, 1999, factored out to a 1. So that means your role in this journey, sir, is to be a leader, a pioneer, a futurist, to go where no person has gone before. Normally, people in the first grade are your entrepreneurs or managers or supervisors or presidents or heads of departments and stuff like that. So I know, and looking at the way you dressing too, people ain't giving you a lot of orders, okay? That's for sure. And then you got a lot of ambition. And it tells me you can talk. It tells me you got a gift for the arts. It tells me you're a natural flirt. It's organic, of course. And it also tells me that ambition is your drive, that whoever's in your life, whatever ladies in your life, the people in your life, they got to have something on the ball or you're not down with them. You don't do bums. You just don't, okay? So anyway, your lucky numbers are the 3, 2, and 7. Thursdays and Mondays and Fridays are your best days, okay? Thank you for the donation. I wonder what NGM is. I'm going to find out what it is. But whatever the donation is, the point is everything counts. It's the thought that counts. All right. Okay. This is Kathleen. They're 64. They're born 11/22/59, dating a 66-year-old gentleman born 8/15/57. Will this work? And is he truly interested? All right. Now, I'm looking at the fact the 2 elements that's going right now. Both of y'all are fire signs. You are a Sagittarius, that's fire. He is a Leo, that's fire. So in that way, you're clicking. I'm looking at the numbers though. You are a number 4. He is a number 6. The direct opposition number to the number 6 is the number 4. The direct opposition number to the number 4 is the number 6. Now, it doesn't mean you can't get along. For example, give you an example. President George H. Bush, W.H. Bush Jr., he's born on July 6th. His wife is born on November 4th. So there can be exceptions. But if you were to say, will this relationship be made, marriage made in heaven? I would say the answer would be slightly no. First of all, the tip off for me is not only is he a Leo, but he's a number 6. And 6 men sometimes can be known from what women tell me that they can have control issues. Women under 6 can have control issues too. That is one of the challenges about anybody born on the 6th, the 15th, or the 24th. They like to control their environment because 6 is about home and family. So at first, real charming going into the relationship, real pleasing, all that stuff. But eventually over time, they begin to kind of like dictate or control you. And with 4 being rebellious by its very nature, the master number 22 too, if he doesn't act right, okay, then that would be it. But I'm saying, listen, enjoy your life. You never know. Here is the thing too, you have to understand, in the days of our ancestors, our parents and grandparents and their parents, they didn't get married to the signs. They didn't get married according to the numbers. They married to the vows, for richer or poor, in sickness or health, for better or worse. That's it. There was no prenups and all this other drama they got going on now. Maybe this is why there's so much high divorce rates in this country, okay? Everything was very, very simple, cut and dry. But if you take that attitude that, okay, regardless, y'all do have some things in common. And so I have not met any couple that didn't have a little friction, a little tension, a little drama, okay? But if so, you know, he's a nice guy, great taste. He knows how to treat you. He knows how to really charm you. Or he could be the opposite. So he can be so stingy, he can squeeze the brown off the penny. So it all depends on what kind of 6 you got going for you. All righty. And, but anyway, you like to be different. So this person probably is too. I hope that answers your question. By the way, your key numbers are the 4, the 1, and the 3. His numbers are the 6, the 2, and the 7. Okay, so you got a totally different set of numbers. All right. All right. This person says, hello, question. What are the best days? Do we also look at what our personal days are or just in the calendar date? Let me see. Okay, I got to read this question. Question for the best days. Do we also look at what personal day we are in or just the calendar dates to determine? The personal day helps too. So don't forget, we have a personal year. Then the next step is to find what the personal month is. Then the next day, what the personal date is for that person. So if that works that way and it matches one of your numbers, that would be very good. All right. But you look at the calendars primarily because regardless of the personal days, if your month and day and year is that, that's why those green stars indicate what your days are. But again, when you go under the daily star guide and you click on how many stars you got, that will tell you what your personal day is for that particular day in question. All righty. So I hope that helps. And thanks for checking out the app too. Greetings from Maryland. Thanks, Eartha. Eartha, don't be joking. Y'all hit the like button, please. It's not that serious, okay? This person is January the 27th, 1990. All right, so they are air sign with a fire number. Their numbers are the 9, 1, and 4. Excuse me, the 9, 4, and 1. I stand corrected. It tells me they were out on their own at a very early age. And everything about them is independent because they're born in the first month. They're born on the 9th day, and they're born in 1990, which is 19, and 1 plus 9 is 10, and 1 plus 0 is 1. So that means if I was to look at this cycle, his harvest cycle, at some point toward the end of his life, he's almost going to either live in or near the place that he was probably born as a rule. But 191, that tells me leadership is written all over your name. And the one thing is, if you've been fired from a couple of jobs because you wasn't having it, you wasn't going to let nobody talk to you any kind of way they want to, that makes sense. If you decide to go into the military, law enforcement, fire, EMS, or handle tools, machines, or instruments, being a mechanic or machinist or construction worker, that would not surprise me too. But this particular year, sir, you happen to be, or I don't know what this is, sir. I don't know why I got that energy. But this particular year, you're in a year of the 9. So this is very important because that tells me next year, which is the year of the 9, 2025, because those 4 numbers add up to a 9, that will favor you. You will be in a 1 personal year. So this year and next year is going to be very similar to what you went through in the year of 2015 and the 2016, and in the year of 2006 and the 2007. That same cycle will repeat itself, except you're now older, wiser, more experienced. All right. So anyway, I do want to thank everybody very much for joining us. Monday, my guest will be Kamor Johnson Bay, the father whose beautiful children I had on my show a couple of months ago. And I'm going to have also from Nicholas Brooklyn, my major sponsor. I finally talked into being on the show, and she's going to give you a history. She's got images of her father when she was a little girl, how he set the business up and passed it on. And she's handling the mantle very, very well. So you're talking about a kind of a relay race. She's doing great. She's out there. And I would encourage everybody to come and see her. So everybody, I do want to thank you very, very much for that. So let me say this. The sponsors have been brought to you by, that means I'll start backwards. I'll go with Miss Kimberly of Manifest on Purpose podcast every Monday and Wednesday morning. King Simon with the event he's having. In fact, they have an event in Atlanta now this weekend where Monique is. Brother Rich's show. Nicholas Brooklyn, of course, I'm going to have Monique on. Yay! On Wednesday the 14th. And then finally, I give thanks to Riza Islam that allowed me and to sponsor the show. And just go to intellectualpower.net to get the supplements. When you order, save yourself, get yourself a discount by putting in the code numbers. I think that's very obvious. Also, Jackie has an event coming up. I meant to include that. I didn't know. I'll talk about that next week. But in the meantime, please pick up the newsletter. It is absolutely free. Okay, those of you who subscribe to the newsletter, and we don't sell your email list, by the way, you'll see the forecast for the month. And if you want to, I've now uh, collaborated with Miss Kimberly of Manifest on Purpose, and we do now interviews every month. So it's fun for me because it allows me to express what's going on for the signs. But when I write it, it's a totally different energy. So just go there and you'll see the month of the law of attraction, because this is the seventh personal month, seven universal month for August. And again, this is Miss Kimberly and I, and you'll see that there are stamp tags to it. So you can just go right to your sign or go to somebody else's sign if you're dealing with them. Or if you say, well, let me see what's happening with my moon or my ascendant, all of that is there for you. And of course, for those of you who have downloaded the Star 8 app, then actually look through your app to understand that there's more parts to it than what I explained, but there's many, many parts. And if I did, I'd probably take up much of the show trying to explain all of the features. But it took a lot of work. It was well worked. And for those of you who downloaded it, please give it 5 stars, okay? Help a brother out, as they say. And if you got any questions or complaints, this is where you go. If you have a time downloading it on your platforms, just go to my website, star8.com, and download it from there. You probably access it easily. Or if you got a question or concern about some glitch or things like that, now I do see why these apps update and bring up the current and all that stuff. I mean, even Apple does it. So, I mean, so I guess I wanted it perfect, not understanding what it takes to do these things. But if you do have any questions, send it to a star8llc@gmail.com. I will send it to my developers. And the nice thing is I can say they will get back to you. In the meantime, though, everybody have a blessed day. Thank you so, so much. And have a great weekend. And we're going to have a great list of guests next week. Take care.